You gave me fever. No need to tell me all. Your eyes I always remember. I wrote you on and on. You never gave me an answer. Am I the only one? I didn't know it was over. Take care of you. Take care of you. Take care of you. You on and on. You never gave me an answer. Am I the only one? I didn't know it was over. Take care of you.
Hello, everybody. I hope you're all having a wonderful, wonderful start to your weekend. Today, we have an awesome live stream coming up for you guys. It's a special one because we have a special guest. Her name is Claudia, and she's here today because we're diving into a very highly requested topic from our community, which is how do you create a brand guide for yourself when you want to share about yourself online? And I want to first jump into an introduction first of Claudia before we go into like why we want to build a brand guide in the first place. Well, I'm sure she'll have a lot to say about it because she's also the co-founder, or sorry, the founder, right, of a design studio. She currently runs Wearable. Maybe Claudia, you want to give us a quick introduction of Wearable, just maybe a two sentence pitch, so that everyone can know what it's all about, and then I can lead more into why your specific skill set is going to be helpful for us today.
Sure. Hi everyone. Thanks for having me. So yeah, I started Wearable, and it's a design studio where we create clothes that are easier to wear for people with disabilities and the aging. Um, in a nutshell, I've essentially gone through this entire brand guidelines process, and I'm hoping that I could share some of my insights here at CoX3.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Claudia. And she's a very welcome addition to the stream because, as she's mentioned, she's done this before. And I think a lot of this brand guideline exercise, for people who have created companies before or have even just tried to share anything about themselves online, they know that it's very, very difficult to get every element correct. It's always going to be changing. It's never going to be static. So what I found that has been very helpful for me is to create living documents whenever I have a situation like this. For example, if I know that my brand will evolve over time and I'm going to add more and more elements to it, that I'm going to want to stay consistent across all of the websites, for example, that CoX3 has, it's very important to me to have something that is, very accessible to everyone in the community, since we are over 1,000 members, right, in over 135 countries, but also to make sure that we have an opportunity for everyone to come in and collaborate. So let's jump straight into it. Thank you, Claudia, for introduction. Let's jump straight into, talking about the why, what, and how behind this whole process, so that if you want to create your living brand guide as well, these are the considerations that you might have for yourself, and you can see how much they match with us, because the most important thing here is that we're teaching you how to go through this process, not necessarily just giving you a template, because I think everyone outside can do that as well. So let's jump straight into it. We're going to make sure everyone can see this. Perfect. So let's talk about why, why we want to create something like this. And of course, Claudia, feel free to jump in at any time to add on any comments, because I think this is going to be a very important, moment to make sure that everyone is following and, understands what we're all talking about. So the big why for me, right, when I'm trying to build something like this is I want to help the rest of the community communicate the brand, values, etc. in the form of a living document. As I mentioned, it will evolve over time, and I want to make sure that the whole community can see at one place exactly what we're all about. And of course, the end outcome there is we want to make it easy for anyone to get involved with our community and what we do. There's so many things that we do in the community. You're going to learn about all of them in this stream right now. But, we have so many different, ways to get involved and ways that we make a difference in the world. It's really important for us to show exactly where and how can you plug in. So when we talk about what, we want to make our colors and typography very recognizable. If you think about all the big brands like Nike or, Adidas, or, just even like fashion brands, maybe Claudia can give us a few, right? Like their colors and typography are very recognizable. When you see their products on the street, like a Coca-Cola can, you know exactly it's a Coke before you even read more into it. It's been ingrained into your mind. Claudia, do you have any examples for us that you really like in terms of recognizable brands?
I think perhaps we could also do a bit of research on the side. Within like the fashion industry, there's this brand called Maison Martin Margiela, and amongst us designers, we recognize it not based on any typography, not based on any particular colors, right? But based on 4 simple white stitches on the exterior of the garment. This designer has remained anonymous almost all his life, and yet we are still able to recognize this global brand.
Do you mind giving me the name again,
detail.
or you can spell it out for me a little bit? I don't know
Wait,
how to spell that.
I can type it. I can type it out. You find it on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
So if you Google that, right, and you look for their label, you just see 4 white stitches on the back of a garment or on a wallet, right? And you just know it's Martin Margiela.
I see. So having a very recognizable, unique piece or centerpiece. Now, you're not even centerpiece, but like an addition, accents, right?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be something. Like, how do you kind of own a color, right? You've got
Mm-hmm.
Tiffany and Co with that teal. You've got McDonald's with their red and yellow. But
Mm,
how do you own a color when a lot of them is already being monopolized by other brands?
mm-hmm.
So a lot of us within the fashion space, we've really tried to be a bit more creative and innovative in how we will be able to create signatures. I'm sorry, could you hear the construction in the
A
background?
little bit, but it's fine.
Okay.
No worries. No, we're just happy you're here, and thank you for your feedback there. So I think that's a very important point that Claudia's making, so that, when you're thinking about your brand, you really want to think about how do you make your colors, and because you can't really modify the color, but how do you add on top of the color? How do you add something new, right, to the space? And I think that's very, very important, and a very welcome feedback for sure. So more things we're going to be considering today will be, being clear about, what are the different sites, or depending on your what you're doing, like your different products that you have, right, and their individual usages, right? Who are the customers of each? Who uses each one? Who might partners be? Really give like a really good glimpse into like, hey, this is the brand, this is what it stands for, and this is who's involved, and of course also some UI consistency amongst all our sites. So one thing I'm going to be doing differently here, and maybe Claudia's already seeing it, is that I'm not looking for this to be only about visuals for our brand guide. This is really going to be my document that says like, hey, if anybody is very interested in being involved in CoX3 more than just, as a end user, right? But if you want to have any glimpse into the inner workings, open this document and you'll learn everything you need about us, and you will find out exactly what you need to do to get involved. This is the kind of living document I want to create, and I think it's starting to be the trend for a lot of companies out there as well. There is I'm trying to think what's the name. It's not Meta Lab, I think, but I'll find out later, because I really like their company as well. Is that they are very, very open about exact, like, everything that goes into their brand, everything that goes into who they are, why they are, what they are. And I love that kind of document, because it gives everyone a really good understanding of exactly, if I get involved, what is in stock for me, right, and how do I present myself. So this is really the kind of comprehensive, right, living document that we're trying to create here. And of course, I hope everyone watching at home can learn something, in the sense that if this is something that they want to think through, I think it's a very important step to go through.
Well, actually, maybe can I add something?
Of
I
course.
think we also could look at how we could use a brand guidelines. You don't necessarily have to have a company or anything like that to go, oh, maybe I could use some sort of consistency in my visuals. Perhaps like even a friend of mine, she's a dancer. She had a personal website. We had a very long conversation about how we could build her portfolio, her website, so that everything was visually more consistent. I
Mm-hmm.
think there's a lot we can learn in different other kinds of applications beyond running a company per se. Yeah.
100%, and thank you so much for making that point. It's exactly within the ethos, right, of what we like to do in the community. Nothing here is off limits for anybody, right? What we'd like to do is bring concepts that we have learned from professional lives and pass it on to personal lives. The things that we're doing today for consistency in our brand, in terms of a company or products, is very, very easily transferable into like a brand guide for yourself, right? Like, how do you want to be presented? Who are your core people in your life, the core interactions that you have? How do you look to other people, right? These are also very interesting things to consider. Again, if you would like to just really find a way to take life control, right, in a sense, to see how you can really mold yourself into the space, and to see how you can better make yourself more consistent, and a way that you can be very proud of the way you present yourself to the world. Yeah, thanks for that. So let's go into the how. So basically, we started planning a little bit, right? But just on the top level, we think the brand guide should consist of vision, a mission, a brand story, values and belief, a brand personality, taglines, right? Logo, icon, typography, colors, UI elements, customer collaborators, and etc. All of these things are going to be the things that are important for anybody to really understand, like, hey, starting from the beginning, like, who are we, right? What do we believe in? how do we kind of present ourselves, right? What are the ways that we present ourselves? What are the visual ways that we present ourselves? Who might be involved in our in our whole process? And then at the end of all this, like the beauty that I'm going to like the end result that I hope to see from this is that if anybody looks at this, they know exactly how they can get involved and be a part of our story. And of course, the mood board is important too. Thank you, Claudia, for adding that. So at the beginning of the stream, I did talk about, a few things in the sense like if we were simply doing a template, I think anybody out there can find a ton of templates available for you, right? A template for a brand guide is not new, and that's not what we want to present here. What's really important to us is to ensure that you know why we made the decisions we made when planning out our brand guide. And of course, for anyone in the community to jump in and say like, hey, this is what I think Coastry stands to me, right? And I love that because it means that our users and our family here has a big say into how we choose to present ourselves because it's what spoke the most to them, right? And I already see some people in the chat saying hi Michael, good to see you, thanks for joining in. But really, we're so excited to have this opportunity again to make this really collaborative experience and see what we can learn from everybody. And of course, I also see that we have Wearable, which is Claudia's company. She's presented her brand book for us to learn from as well. So just really thankful for all the different opportunities we have for learning and growth here. So before we jump in, I also do want to mention that our brand guide will be hosted on our own website as well. So I want to show you like how we can turn something from Notion into a website very, very quickly. I think that's something that's important for everyone as well because it makes it so that you don't have to always share a PDF around. You can just make it on a, on a website and you can just update it as you need to, right? So I think that's quite nice. And of course, not using a Notion style guide because obviously when I just push out a Notion page to share, it'll look like a Notion page, right? So how do we make that into like our brand page as well? Maybe that's something that Claudia will appreciate. Yeah, awesome. Claudia, do you have anything to add before we get started?
I think something helpful to cover if we go back to the how. Something that I learned in the process was that everything up to taglines is essentially your brand language guidelines. And everything that stems in terms of the mood board, your visuals, it has to stem from all these findings that you have from vision, mission, brand story, values, beliefs, brand personality, and your taglines. It's about having consistency with how you lead with your visuals and also how you communicate your brand through words. When I started this process out for the first time, the mistake or learning experience I gained from it was that all my visuals should stem from this, and they shouldn't be existing as two separate veins. Yeah.
Completely agreed. So let's jump into the other Notion page that we have here, right? Coastry brand guide. And let's talk a bit about how we want to put everything together. Because I think the first step really for us is to, well, let me first copy over all the things we've already talked about, right? And start making them into like heading styles. And this is where, feel free to kind of jump up and play around with the screen itself because you have access to this page, because I think it's super important for us to kind of work independently here a little bit as well, right? Where we can just keep moving things around as we're talking so that we're building it up as we discuss. Yeah. So jumping into here, I like what you said first, we have the brand guidelines and then we have the visuals. Do you think those two are separate pages or they should still be the same page and you just keep scrolling?
I think same page keeps scrolling. You kind of need to know the story of why the color is why the font is what we've chosen. It's telling a story. Yeah.
Okay, so let's
we
go
shouldn't
ahead.
chop out the introduction. Yeah.
And how should we present everything? Like I've seen some people do like side by side, like a left column or right column. I've seen some do like stacked. Like what would you think looks nice here? Because again, I'm just imagining, right? Like lorem ipsum. I'm really lorem ipsum for everything for now, but I have some content I will fill in once we have a solid foundation. But yes,
I think don't focus on how it looks first. put the content out and then lay out in a way that corresponds to it.
Okay.
I realized what really helps for me was after, vision, mission, brand story, values, and beliefs. Those are things that we know already. It's very helpful to outline what the brand's personality is. It's inclusive. What are some keywords that define it if you have to distill it in just a few words? Yeah.
Of course. Okay, so because I gotta pull that up, if you don't mind, can you go ahead and just do what I'm doing here and continue the
Can.
formatting? Mm-hmm. And then I'll go ahead and grab what I have. Okay, so I have vision. I have our mission. So we're transferring some content from our old brand guide into here. If you have any questions about, why, we put certain things, I can also explain them. But of course, we're going to go through these, line by line as well. Once we go back through. Yeah. So taglines. Brand personality. Hmm. Values and beliefs. Let's go ahead and do.
I'm so happy that you're doing this. So I remember the first few hackathons, we were making stuff, and I was like, but what font does it need to be? What color shall this be in? Give me a hex code. I was like, confused.
Yeah, so for context for everyone watching, again, like I said, highly requested, right? I think mostly by Claudia herself, because when Claudia joined the community and wanted to help, it was, needless to say, it was not the most satisfying experience because it wasn't very clear, just at a glance, if you haven't been in the community for a long time, what exactly, should the look and feel be, right? So when we had the whole project of hacking together some clothing lines for Coextree, right? Some intentional clothing lines, then it was very difficult for her as well as for other helpers at the time to really get the visualization they needed to put everything together without, having to always rely on my intuition. So this is basically, and the same with any documentation, honestly, is to take away the intuition part and give it to, make it like a very, very clear cut, this is in black and white what we do and how we do it and how we want it to look, kind of thing. Yeah, and then I'm gonna go ahead and find some more stuff. I'm gonna see. I think I had it inside our shirts. There we go. Control what we
Actually,
do.
I'm going to make a suggestion. I feel like customers should be way up, way up, up. Before taglines. Before you start creating something, we should have all the research and the data prior to that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Brand story. I have that somewhere as well. So this is perfect. We have so many things that was everywhere, and now we have them in one place. Oh my gosh. Hmm. Remember to hydrate, by the way, guys. Don't forget to drink water. Okay, so I'm just gonna add in customers, and then we can probably start talking about this.
Okay.
I won't want to say customers. I want to say users. And then in terms of users, again, I have another page on this. So we have second, oops, where'd it go? Second winders, students, and creatives. Okay, and then in order will be students. And then we have creatives. And then we have second winders. Perfect. Then I think one thing that we need to write down as well is the tools we use or the partners. So partners will call their tools. Our tools will call their partners. Notion.
I'm getting
Gilder.
a head start on the mood board. I'm looking up some images.
Sure. Like Moodboard of our images, right?
Do you have a pre-existing mood board?
Maybe you can explain Moodboard to all of us, and then we can see how that can go ahead.
I guess it's interesting to see how CoX3 will utilize different visuals, but as a fashion brand, I try to look for images that we could reference when we're having photo shoots, when we're choosing banner images or utilizing on our website, right? I noticed that for most of CoX3 visuals, there are illustrations that you've made of the community. Um, what did you reference for those visuals? Is my question. Yeah.
Oh, I see what you mean. No, what I imagine as a mood board right now, at least, is the mood board of our current stuff, and then what we want to do to make it more consistent after that. Like, I don't really have a
Mm,
very clear, like, oh, I really like this company's or this artist's visuals, and then I modeled it after
mhm.
that. Yeah, I basically just used
No,
whatever I had in front of me.
The images that you reference, they don't have to be of an existing company or brands. It could simply be something that inspires you. So, gamification is the huge aspect of a lot of the content and you've covered thus far, right?
Mm-hmm.
And even with the sounds and whatnot that you've introduced to the Make Work Fun app. So what would be interesting is how you could strengthen that connection.
Okay, you
Perhaps in
can
the
go
form
ahead.
of
I don't think
color.
I'll understand until you go ahead and put some stuff down. So please
I
do feel
mean, you
free to go
can
ahead.
look at the examples, right? That are in the links that you had before.
Oh, okay, yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, there are mood boards there as well. Yeah.
You're not in that one. Let's go ahead and open up this one and let's see.
Because it's typically not all type, and if they're going to use images, people should be consistent in the kind of images that they use.
No, right. So then my
So the
understanding is that
landscape.
the mood board should be of your own images then, not of other people's images.
So how it starts off is that, like, for myself, I don't have the products at first, right, nor the budget to actually create those images, and so I needed my team to get like a semblance of the look and feel that I was going for. So you start off with references, but once you get to a point where you can create your own images and collateral, that's perfect. But it's part of like the crafting process where we use references because it's hard to describe something that visual. Yeah.
Okay, so then my take on it is because we already have visuals, let's not use
Mm,
references and let's use our own visuals because we're going to get
sure.
confused. Yeah,
Can.
because I'm looking at all these other guides and they don't use other people's images.
I mean, landscape images aren't their own. I would say they get it from like Shutterstock and whatnot.
Right, but we also don't have Shutterstock license, so we shouldn't do that.
Mm.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and do this. Partners, motion, taglines. I think I'm done my side if you want to start questioning that, and then we can move on to visuals. Let me know when you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yep. So feel free and question everything, and then we'll talk about them.
I don't think it's so much of questioning, but let's pull out certain keywords that could potentially inspire visuals, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. So earlier mentioned gamifying lives. I'm just going to put a comment to.
What did you call this section? This is like this section is the story.
Oh, let's see. Brand story would. Yeah.
And the other ones will be brand visuals, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have art here for sure. Palette, I think that's what it's called. Painting. Okay, and then I'm going to have another page entirely. So brand story. open another page just so I have it. This into here. I know you just got kicked out. I'm going to add you back in again.
No.
Edit. Okay, I really like this before you dig in. I think we need like a intro letter as well. So still intro
Like the
letter.
intent of the guide helps, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna add an intro letter. I'm gonna put Lorem Ipsum for now because I definitely will need some time to write this. So I'm gonna go ahead and generate 5 paragraphs. This. I'll make a call out block as well here. Let's go ahead and throw the stuff in. We're gonna make this a sync block. Throw this into here and throw this into here. I don't think it works like that, so we're going to have to that didn't work. Okay, what I want to do is this. So I'm going to take this section and then I'm going to go ahead and page. We're going to throw these things into the page. Make this into a side-by-side thing. Take this out, then turn this into text. So now we have this. We need this to become a sync block. Yeah, so turn into text. Make this into block. So this is a very big hack to make this into a sync block. Now I brainstorming and brand visuals just like that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this into a page. So let's maybe brand story page. New subpage. And now everything gets thrown into that. So brand story, here we go. Yeah, I wonder if this will make it really funny. Okay, so I'm gonna delete this and I'm gonna take everything. Everything's gonna move over in a second. So let's go ahead and paste this. Perfect. And then what we can do now is delete the page that you were just on. Okay, so I'm changing this thing. Can we delete this page?
Yeah.
Actually, I can move to. Wait, okay, don't worry. I can move to brand story. Yeah, we can go. We can keep doing brand story 1, 2, 3. Doesn't work this way. Move to brand story 1, 2, 3. Ah, doesn't do it. try one more thing. If not, then Claudia, I'm gonna need you to exit this page for a second. If you just go back to brand materials.
Is it still there?
I'm gonna delete brand story and then we're gonna go for brand materials.
Okay.
Yeah. Turn into page. Turn into text. Okay, and then we're gonna delete this page because this page doesn't matter anymore. Perfect. Are you okay? Did you lose anything?
I'm trying to figure out where you're at right now. Oh, okay, found you.
Perfect. I think you lost your comments, so sorry.
That's right. I was building on how to populate your mood board. So if we scroll down to mood board, there's 3 keywords that I've picked out based on everything you shared above, right? Your mission, vision, who your target audience is, and I looked at how you could potentially populate images to reference, right? So you're looking at a sense of play, referencing elements of gamification and fun. You could populate images around a sense of adventure, referencing challenges and growth. You could also look for images that indicate sharing, referencing knowledge sharing and the community. So that's how I typically go about to find visuals related to my brand. I would look at the entire story I've written, pull out certain keywords and aspects that could support this brand story and the storytelling with visuals alongside my entire language guidelines. Yeah. And sometimes it's through this mood board where I figure out, oh, this is how I want to design my logo. You pull out certain visuals and elements and you get inspired by it. So I guess it's a brainstorming process where you pull out as many images first, then through a process of elimination, select a few, pick out the ones that you don't like, and then designing from that. So designing your logo from that, choosing your colors from that. Everything should be inspired or something, and you shouldn't just pick a color just because you like it. Yeah, it has to be related somewhat. And typically the mood board's a great place to tie everything together.
Right. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. I moved it over to brand visuals as well, by the way, if you want to go access that. But one thing I want to state is that I think different stages as well is important. So for us, the stages that we've already figured out our brand, our logo and everything. So I think that right now we're not going to build out the mood board too much, aside from actually adding stuff that we already have. Because I want to be building on top of what we have. I'm not here to rewrite everything just for our use case, but I completely agree for anybody who's watching this is like, do definitely reference like people that you love, people that you like, that you'd like to use as references for your own brand. Because I think that's a really, really good step to make sure that you have everything that makes sense to you.
Yeah, because I think the reason why I felt the need to point it out, and it's not directly relevant to the stage that CoX3 is at now, but when I was starting out, I didn't know what visuals to use. I didn't know why everything looked so plain because it was all just text. And even if I chose a certain color, it wasn't very strong in terms of the storytelling and tying back to everything else that I've shared about the brand. So that was just something that I had learned along the way. So having a mood board that is based on everything we shared in the brand story is very helpful. Yeah.
So let's go ahead and just make this a bit more playful. So sharing, yeah, because it'll help for creating new images, is what my understanding is as well.
Exactly. Yes. What this allows for is for ideation, and really, like you said, it's a living document that ideation wouldn't ever stop. And if you have certain keywords that open up a lot of possibilities for different ideas as opposed to like a very fixed outcome,
Mm-hmm.
like for example, instead of saying play, gamification, and fun, right, and you say video games, uh, doesn't really open up a lot of the possibilities of what different kinds of play could be, right?
Mm-hmm.
What could fun look like in other aspects of the community? Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm with you a lot for this. So what? So, okay, I just did something and I'm gonna undo it. Ayo. Okay, so the reason because of that is I have an idea here. I'm going to throw in some galleries. So gallery inline, of course. And then what we're going to do is put on the side. And of course, you can't do that unless you've already set up that column, because Notion has a lot of quirks that you can play around with. So like that. Now I have a side thing. And then I'm going to make these things smaller. So what we're going to do is we're going to make all of these into the same column, just like so. And then we can call this one our mood board. And then we can have like views for play, adventure, and sharing, and so on. So I think that makes it
Nice.
quite nice. Yep. Logo. So logo is what we have currently, and I think some people like add some descriptions, right, of the. Oh, I love your brand book, by the way. Very nice. Very, very nice. Made wearable. I like it. I like it.
I'm not really using that though.
Mm,
I think what the purpose of the brand guidelines, right, is to show acceptable ways of applying certain logos and visuals and colors on what not to do, right?
hmm.
Don't use the logo on a very pale background, for example. But it doesn't mean you have to do all those things. They're just options.
Yeah, no, it's like a guideline, right? So I definitely
Mhm.
agree with it. Yeah. No, I like it a lot because it's given me a lot of visuals. Like I feel good already that, when I'm able to play around with this, like and see, right? Like the lines
Yeah,
that you
so if I
use.
had like an intern, right, I would just give them this file and say, okay, I need you to design an Instagram post. This is what the content's gonna be. Here's a Notion page of what the post should have, and by right, I don't have to explain to them like, hey, the font we're using is Proxima Nova. This is the font size. I don't have to re-instruct everyone. They would just look at this and they would know.
Hmm. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Okay, so let's see how we can do the same kind of effect here too, right? Because I think that we have, yeah, so this will keep building, I'm sure. Brand visuals, we have this. I think what we want to do is maybe you can start populating the mood board because everything else I need to just populate. So I'll give me a second to populate the logo and icons and stuff like that, and then we'll
Yeah,
go back to mood. I'll go back to see what you've been doing there.
you have existing images. Can you share a few of them so that I'm on the
You
same
can just
page?
copy and paste them from the website. Yeah.
It's just on the website, yeah?
Yeah, everything I
Okay.
have is on all our websites. Oh, that's also one thing we need to do. Brand websites. Brand directory, I think. That's what I'll call it.
I can only take screenshots
Sorry, why?
from the site. If I try to right click save as, it saves it as a web page.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Just
Screenshot
screenshot it for
replace.
now. Let's go ahead and add a background purple color. How do I say this? Community. And then we have toolbox. And then we have knowledge, which is learn, I think should be, but that's a bit missing right now. Action. Okay, description should be here. I'm going to do this. Take action on your learning. Everything that COIX 3 stands for. All about COIX 3. Community is our. Okay, if you want to find all our websites, I have a brand directory now, so you can go ahead and take a look there. There should be more, but I don't remember right now. And that's bad if I don't
It's
remember.
okay. It's not that you don't remember. You got it written down somewhere. You just need to read it. You just need to find it.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and throw some more stuff on. Okay, let's do logo. I can just drop my logos in there. So I'm gonna do the same thing in terms of doing a gallery. Okay, I think what I do here is like this. Themes. So let's do logo. Okay. Do I prefer it this way or do I prefer it with more details? I don't think I want this a bit more prettier. So I'm gonna do something like this. Yeah, and then I'll put it side by side with something. So let's go ahead and put this down. Yeah. Then I'm going to add some information. So I have a black version as well. Some people have a name for their logos, right? Like a name of like a name for why they call their logo a certain thing. Does that make sense?
Do you have an example?
I don't know, like some people call their logos as... Yeah, I don't have an example. I'll find you examples some other time. me. Okay, all my whites have a problem. I'm going to
It's
go.
transparent background PNG.
Yeah, it's okay. Let me just go ahead and. I just want to get a start anyway for the people watching at home, right?
Yeah.
This is about getting a start.
I mean, for people getting a start, right, they would probably have to design the logo from scratch. So what you guys are probably going to do is, based on your mood board, have a real think of what do you like about it. So if, for example, if I'm reverse engineering here, I'm seeing a play button, and that's inspired off of the keyword play, the visuals you get when you research play, when you create your mood board. And then you start picking out colors from there that you're inspired by. So it's so much of having it be an organic discovery process. Start with the images that represent those keywords first, and then pulling inspirations from the design your logo. I had the hardest time because I didn't do this entire process of like brand personality, and I jumped right in to it, and it was essentially pulling ideas from thin air. Yeah, so you need to have a baseline of content to work off first. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely agreed. And I'm also debating whether or not the best thing to do is do this part on Notion as well, because ideally people can use vector images and then, export out any size that they'd like. So I may even decide to go ahead and put this all into Figma and then embed Figma in here instead. I think that might be a good idea.
Yeah, that'd be cool. So something else that I had in my first draft of my brand guidelines, it was a mock-up. I had a mock-up of what my tags and my labels would look like. If I had merchandise, what that would look like. The different colorways, different logo usages on a t-shirt, right down to packaging. So if I finished designing my garment and I was going to mail that package out to a customer, what would that look like? And there's so many free Photoshop files where you just need to drop your logo in and tweak the colors, or even just Figma, right? It's a very helpful way to visualize, hey, do I like the logo I just designed? Do I like these visuals that I've chosen? Because before you proceed, you want to vet all those decisions because you're building everything else on top of that.
Yep, completely agreed.
And also, like, if I were to tweak your logo, right? Because one thing I'm seeing is that the gray looks like a C, and then in the circle is an O. So co-X. I would make it look more like a C, and reduce the blue, red, and yellow. Because it should read like co-X3 on its own too.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think right now I'm just gonna upload all the logos that I do have, like that we're currently using, and then we're gonna leave it there for now until I decide to put it on Figma or something like that. Because the issue is also like on Figma, it's not gonna be the best either because Figma doesn't have the original vector files, right? We built all this on Illustrator. So
I've got an idea. Like, what if you welcome the rest of the community to share images into the mood board that could potentially inspire?
So the mood board should be collaborative. I agree. Yeah, this is a collaborative part. Yeah, I agree. And then what we do here.
Because what I did from my team member and I was that at the time we had like a Pinterest board that we shared to each other. And everything that we designed for our brand guidelines was pulled out from there, or even stuff that we found on Instagram. It was very helpful that I didn't have to gather all the knowledge on my own.
No, I agree. And I was talking more about placing everything later in terms of the Figma file.
Yeah, that too.
Okay, graphic elements is important. Headings is important as well. Hierarchy and weight. Yeah, these are the things I need to talk about. So we choose Inter as our typography, but we need to talk about weightage, like when we use certain weights where. Actually, so important. Let's do colors first, because colors I'm much more clear on.
Yeah.
Colors, let's go ahead and put in colors. I think for this one, I'm definitely will just go ahead and do it on Figma, because I'm not going to be able to put in the information otherwise. So let's go ahead and go to Figma. Fill that in. Okay, so let's go ahead and go in. I have a brand guide, but I think this is already old. Let me just double check it. Yeah, this is like really old stuff.
Frog.
Eat the frog. Yeah, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and make a new one. Corkscrew family. Team project. New design file. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go ahead and put colors here. Oh, actually, why am I doing this from scratch? I can definitely get a Figma template here. Figma brand guide template. I'm almost certain there's something I can get from here. Color guide. Okay, I think something else. I see something simple. Yeah, this is useful. I need something for UI elements as well. This is for that UI elements. Let's see. Okay, maybe this is simpler.
Oh, you see how they have the different proportion of colors here? So like there's a primary color and everything else is an accent.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Mm.
Wait, this is too simple. I'll get it. Let's see. Yeah, we're almost there though, so it's pretty nice. Yeah, this one is all the same colors. Okay, what I'm looking for is just color and then also UI elements. So I think the first one is actually the best, probably. Oh, a product style one is actually good as well. Brand mag side. Ah, like this product style is probably good. Never mind. It's very basic. Oh, spacing and everything. Okay, no, I kind of agree with it. Scaling system and stuff like that. Let's take a look at this one. This looks familiar. And this one, let's see. Thumbnail, contents. Oh wow, they did letterhead and stuff as well. That's definitely too much.
Oh, I had to make a letterhead template too. Then also from there on, you got your brand guidelines. I did my name card. Like it enables everything, all the collaterals you need. You need to design a paperback, check the brand guidelines. You need to design the t-shirt, check the brand guidelines. It's beautiful.
Yes. Wow. See, okay, so I guess like whatever we can learn here is like how to even search for like templates on Figma, for example, but like brand template. Oh, this is for Twitter and everything. I like this one actually. This is good for Twitter. Oh, wow, I really like this one. This one's really good. Social branding. Okay, this is so simple. Okay. All right, I think I know what I want. I'm going to use probably this one for some other purpose. This one I like for the colors, and that's what I was going for anyway, so I'm just gonna go ahead and use that. No, actually, I like this one for the colors. Yeah, this one's very cute for the colors. So all I need is just to open it and then use it. Yeah, typography is also good. I think typography for me is strange because I've been using like relative sizes. I haven't been using any proper sizes. Yeah, it's very strange.
Okay, maybe what's helpful is not the actual sizes, right? But if you have a header on the page, your body text should be like maybe 20% smaller. Because visually, you just want everything to be proportionate. And you just want the same item on a different medium, maybe a letter, name card versus like website. You just want the proportion to be the same and to be consistent.
Yeah, agreed. So
So
let's
maybe
go
you could
ahead.
just go off percentage, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna paste this down. So the main thing I want to try is exporting it into embedding it into this page because I know we can do it. So I'm just trying to figure out how. So do it embed or Figma. Yeah, there we go, Figma. And then what we're going to do is we now have this page, which is our, you rename it. Where's the naming? Yeah, I'm gonna rename it, and then I think from here we should call it soon.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead. Oop, I found it. There we go. This project. We should call it something untitled. Change that into brand design. Let's take this. Let's share it with the world. Get embed code.
I was spending like 6 weeks on my brand guideline, and that's with someone to work on it with me as well. And then even after finishing it, I always went back to it to tweak it.
Yeah, I think the beauty for us is that we're able to get the whole community involved as well. So I like that.
People.
Yeah, we have a lot of people who are very happy to help. So I'm happy for that. Okay, so let's take away these things. Everything needs to be inter because obviously we just talked about that. There we go. Everything became inter, and then we'll add the colors in later. Okay, so that's good. So we have a Figma file for our colors. We'll probably have another embed for our logos as well. So that'll be easy. Typography, we'll probably have another Figma file to handle that. So we'll have that later. And then UI elements is also Figma as well. So we have a few Figma sections. Figma, and then we have Figma over here as well. Okay, and then we are going to go up here. Okay, let's do a recap of everything and let's see what we like and what we don't like and how we're going to continue improving this. Again, this is a living document, so I'm very happy to ensure that this is something that we just continuously build upon. One thing I am going to show you guys before we do that is I want to show you guys how I'm going to publish this onto the web, because I think everyone is very interested in how that process happens, and I'm very happy to share. So let's go to cloudflare.com, because that's where I currently host my websites. So I'm going to log in first, and it's going to need my sign in. So give me a quick second. Cloudflare. So I'll sign in here, and then I'm going to sign in here. And then I'm going to show you how we're going to log in. So we have a few domains. I'm going to do a domain for the X3 family. We're going to do something probably for, let's do it for, let's just do it. Let's call it style.x3.family. Or should it be style or should it be brand? You can decide, Claudia.
I think brand.
Okay, so we're going to call it, we're going to do a record, brand.x3.family. The IP address, we're just going to put some random address. It really does not matter because we're boxing it. And then we're going to go ahead and press save. So we have brand.x3.family now. And what we're going to do is we're going to go and make a worker. And on the other side, we're going to go to fruition. So fruition is, oops, let's just go to fruition. I don't remember, IO, that's so, I don't remember, that's so I think. It is a utility, oh, that's not it. Fruition Notion. Fruitionsite.com. So basically this is a very good way of maybe putting your Notion pages on the web and also adding in like some customizability to it. I made a video on this already a long time ago, so you guys can check that out. But again, I like it. It's an open source tool, so that's all for free. So what we can do here is we can go ahead and generate the script. So we're going to go ahead and say our domain is going to be brand.x3.family. And then the Notion URL is going to be brand materials. So we're going to go ahead and paste that. We can add pretty links later. Actually, we can. Let's do it now. Our pretty links are going to be our story. So /story. Oh, story should go to this page. And then we're /visuals. Should go to this page. And then our last one is directory. And then we'll go to this page. Perfect. Now we're going to toggle the style. So we can call this one the X3 family brand guide. Description, just something simple for now. The family guide to, or who we are. What's a good way of saying this? Brand guide, like our brand. Give me just a short description. Our living
a go-to
document for who we are, what we are.
No, I think be a bit more for our visuals and I guess perhaps our living document for our story visuals and
whatever, just something simple. So custom Google fonts. So enter is our Google fonts, and we don't need a script. Later on, we can get a script if we want to, by the way. If we want to get Is it really not letting me copy the code because it doesn't think this is a URL? That's so funny. Let me see. .com. No, that's not it. Okay, there's something going on here that I cannot tell because this thing is too small.
There's a space there before story.
Nope, that's not it.
Is it supposed to be there?
That's not it. Yeah, that's not it. Is it this thing? Is it because we need to copy a link like this? Oh wait, it's not public. It shouldn't be the case though, but let's see. Yeah, but it wasn't public, so let's go ahead and get everything. So this is a brand story. And then brand visuals. Let's copy that. Brand visuals. And then directory. Brand directory. So let's share this, copy this. Brand directory. Something is going on here. There is something wrong here. Brand guide, the title isn't wrong. The directory is there. I don't think it's a pretty link issue. I honestly think it's just this. Yeah, that's so funny. Please enter a valid domain. Okay, that's for now. Let's just put something in. So test.com. And then we're going to change everything once we get this. So yeah, so this is just something custom that you might have to do. Again, I don't know why this is happening like this, but I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste the script in Cloudflare. So we're going to go ahead and make sure we are doing the right thing. So we're going ahead and making a worker. So let's go ahead and manage workers. Manage workers. Create a service. This one is going to be called brand custom domain. I can just do this. And then we're going to edit this once we get it. So we're going to do a quick edit. So like here, we're going to paste everything in. So now everything is in here. So what we're going to do is, it's a test.com, it's brand.x3.family. Test.com, yeah, it's not appearing. So save and deploy. Save and deploy. Okay, now we're going to go back. And now we're going to manage our service. Actually, we can just go to workers. Let's see. Your site name, add route. Okay, so let's add a route. So let's go ahead and add a route now. And back to my domains, back to x3.family, back to workers, add route. So I want to say that if it is going to be brand.x3.family / anything, then use brand custom domain, environment production, save. So from there, it should be good. So let's go ahead, brand.x3.family. That's loading. Okay, so everything's enter now, right? And then everything is loading. I think these will take some time to, yep. So these are all loaded. Brand story. So brand story is all showing up. Again, some things need a little bit of time to populate because we just made this page. We don't know why brand story is not populating, but we'll see why. Yeah, some text is not going through yet. Brand visuals, so you can see the visuals are going to populate. This works out well. We're going to embed more stuff in later as well. Brand directory, it's going in as well. So perfect. So now you can see that like in within 1 hour, right, this live stream, we've created a public website, which is brand.x3.family. You can see that it's all in our font that we want. We're going to go ahead and add more stuff to it as we can. We can see that the visuals open up really easily and really well. We have dark mode as well if we want to open a dark and light mode. So I think that's really cool. And then we have a directory. So then we go ahead and see all the different websites that we have. And again, I'll add more information to it as we go through. Claudia, is there anything that you'd like to add based on your experience here? Anything that you want to share with anybody?
I would say be very comfortable with changing your visuals along the way. You don't have to stick to a particular one just because you already used it. Yeah.
Totally agreed. And I want to share also that, like, you know, this is just the beginning, right? And of course, I can give you guys all the template of this. That's not a problem. But what I really want to share here is that you can build this really easily and really quickly, right? You don't have to like, I think the most important thing for any creator is to just start. If you can find a way to just start very quickly and very easily, this is the best way for you to get over your fear of, you know, creating, you know, and publishing and sharing about yourself online, and give yourselves the opportunity to really put yourself out there and have other people come in and join your brand, right? Whether they're joining in as, you know, team members, whether they're joining in as users, whether they're joining in as partners. There's just so much opportunity for everyone to get involved as long as you tell your story out loud. So that's my message for all of you guys. You know, don't hesitate. Just start out, right? And again, of course, it may have looked a bit easier for us because we've already thought about a lot of our vision, mission, and things like that. But, you know, we all started from somewhere as well, right? So that's the most important thing, message I want to share with you guys. Thank you so much to Claudia for joining us today. It's an amazing experience to always be able to collab with friends in the community, family members in the community, right? To really work together on something meaningful and something important to all of us. And thank you, Claudia, for sharing your expertise with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Please take care, everybody. Please have a wonderful rest of your weekend, and we'll chat soon. Bye now.